drop a like and subscribe to Its Illusion's gaming YouTube channel.
Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on the brand new Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remaster that just came out. I did a video on Skyrim a while back on the channel, and I had an absolute blast with that, and I'm happy to say that today was a very similar experience and a lot of fun to do. Oblivion has a total of 51 trophies including the Platinum, and it took me less than 20 hours to complete. Every single trophy in the game, by the way, is entirely just from the story and guild questlines, making it a very simple job to do.
That's what I'm saying.
So, to kick off this game's Platinum, the first step is to finish the 5 guild questlines that there is. You could do the main story first, but doing the side activities to begin with is a better method because the main story could possibly conflict with some side activities if you aren't careful. But as per usual with the Elder Scrolls games, we had to make a character, and I chose to mimic the speedrun build found within the Power Picks guide that I follow for Oblivion, because it makes your character as fast as possible to help with some annoying moments where you have to run and run and run. God bless the infinite enemy bug in this game. God bless it. But anyways, you play as a prisoner to start off the day, and just by sheer luck or fate, if you will, the Emperor ends up coming down to see us. However, it's not for a social call and purely business, seeing as he is being hunted by assassins and the secret exit out of the castle was inside of our own cell. You'd think they would put that somewhere else, but who knows what medieval architects were up to. The guards did also tell us straight to our face not to follow them, but you are supposed to because they for some reason cannot just shut the exit after going in, which also makes a ton of sense. It's almost like they were inviting us. And long story short, you get attacked by assassins all throughout the secret exit into the sewers. Ultimately, there's a very odd death scene for the Emperor where he just gets stabbed in the back quite literally right in front of us. But before he died, he also did give us this amulet to deliver to someone as the first main story quest and what kicks off the game's story in general. And seeing as we are not going to be doing that for quite some time, it just burned a hole in my pockets for like 10 hours of gameplay, which is kind of funny. That poor dude who needed the amulet literally had to wait years to get it. Anyways, to finish this tutorial quest and make it to the real world, you have to just run through the rest of the sewers to the exit and then pop out to the sunshine, and the first trophy also popped. Now inside of the Oblivion remaster, you can immediately fast travel to all of the major cities and some side locations of the game right away. And I didn't ever play the original version because it came out when I was 2 years old and I was still learning what reality is. But due to this, it makes kicking off the guild quest very easy. And the first one I chose to bang out was the arena quest line. The arena is, well, an arena meant for fighting between 2 people or multiple people in the form of teams. Have you ever seen the movie Gladiator? Yeah, it's that. The teams inside of the arena are the blue team and the yellow team, and all these spectators can also bet on fights, including us. And I accidentally did bet on a fight off rip, which forced me to then watch it before I could actually enter the arena myself. And you get a trophy just from telling the arena guy Owen, who runs it for the most part, that you want to enter. After that though, I did just begin to do arena fights. There's a grand total of 22 fights including the champion inside of the arena. All of them function almost the exact same, aside from a few having multiple people coming at you, but for the most part it is a fun time. I was also playing on Novice difficulty because there is no difficulty related trophies, which did kind of make this boring due to it being so easy to win. And as I've been talking about this arena, you have seen the trophies popping because I'm not going to go through each and every fight because they are quite literally the same thing as I've said. However, that champion fight was quite a bit harder than everyone else, seeing as, you know, it's the champion. I don't know why I need to explain this, but some of you guys are stupid. Oh my God! But once you do win, there's a lot of praise from the townfolk, and not only just in the arena, but for the entirety of the rest of this game, you will occasionally hear NPC chatter about how there's a new champion. It's actually super funny. I felt like I was a bit schizophrenic though at the same time, so it's all normal to be honest. But you did also have to talk to one more lady in the arena before that trophy popped, and here it is. So that's the arena guild complete, and then I moved down the list onto the Dark Brotherhood questline. And before we go any further, I do want to say this blatantly. Do not do this. Literally go to any other questline, and I would suggest doing the Fighters Guild first because they are the only one who will turn you away if you don't have a good record in this game. And it's honestly hard to have a good record with how much killing we do. But anyways, yes, I did do the Dark Brotherhood next because it looked and sounded fun, which it honestly is. This is probably the only fun guild in my opinion due to it having a lot of action, combat, and not a ton of fetch quests unlike the other ones. But to get the first trophy and inducted into the Dark Brotherhood, you have to just take out this one dude while he was sleeping, and I also then just slept in his bed, which caused Lucian, who is the initial quest giver, to then appear during the night and welcome us in with the trophy popping as well. You then begin the killings, and boy oh boy did we kill. I don't know how many people you have to hunt down and desecrate, but it was a lot. And sometimes the very nice and wholesome people we did have to take down would be inside of public areas, which in turn gave me a very large bounty on my head. And being a new player to Oblivion, I had no idea how the jail, paying the bounty off, or what this was even doing to my reputation. reputation. And in conclusion, I basically just completely fucked up my stats from sleeping in jail for like 4 years in the game. My reputation was almost to 100 infamy and 0 fame, which is pretty much impossible to come back from, so we are cooked. I did also sadly run into a lot of bugs while playing this, which caused me to not be able to fast travel, progress quests further due to enemies being around at all times when they weren't, and also the game would just freeze up and story moments would not happen like they were meant to. But I guess these are supposed to be here for nostalgia from what I've heard. And to that, I have to say, you're fucking retarded, dude. Anyways, the final Dark Brotherhood quest had us do a ritual around a fountain and then talk to a ghost lady down below who is our goddess. I love cults. They are always so fun. You never know what's going to happen next. But you do know whatever does happen is going to be interesting, and that's on God. Anyways, here's that final guild trophy completing 2 of 5. I then began the Thieves Guild questline, and I'm going to be completely honest. This is one of the more bad guild questlines in my opinion. I just felt as if it was boring. It had a lot of buggy quests and markers did not help much if they even worked to begin with. But you kick it off by meeting up with some dude at night behind a person's house like all great things begin. You then got given the first quest, which was to steal some guy's diary, and it was also a competition between us and 2 other recruits. I'm not sure if you actually can lose this, but just to be safe, do it fast, of course. Then you just take the diary back to the Thieves Guild member and the trophy pop with us getting welcomed in. So then you do begin some thief work. And another reason why I think this is one of the worser guild lines is because you're not allowed to kill anyone for the most part, making it quite hard to get jobs done because the stealth in this game is also very tricky to get functioning properly, which is unfortunate because the overall plot and the ending of the Thieves Guild line kind of goes hard. You end up working for this man named the Grey Fox, who is the more ending portions quest giver. He's also the leader of the Thieves Guild in general, and he has us going into this tower full of blind monks to steal the Elder Scroll. This is also the only missable trophy of the entire game, so it actually matters for once. And it's missable because if you aren't extremely stealthy, and I mean extremely, just look at how sensitive this damn thing is. Like, bro, what the fuck? But if you aren't careful, as I was saying, you will get caught or at least alert everyone. And in turn, it just makes them not bring you the scroll, and you have to get that for the quest to work and function properly. But once doing it correctly, you're supposed to sneak out of the place, and I did not do that because I didn't want to. However, in turn, this will make the entire world we are in hostile towards me. Every single city I went to was aggro, and I couldn't fast travel, rest, or pass time at any point despite having no enemies around me. I couldn't even surrender to the jail naturally. So I honestly, for a second there, thought I got soft locked, but I would go on to find a way to break this, and it's just by blocking over and over until yielding to a guard, spending your time in jail, and it resets the vibe for us. After fixing that and following the quest markers, you end up giving the Countess a key item, and it triggers the Grey Fox who we've been working for to appear. It also turns out that he was the long lost love of the Countess, so it's a happy ending. Fire writing Bethesda, Ubisoft can never. I then made my way to the Mages Guild quest line, and theirs was much simpler to join. Just ask them. They let anyone become a mage these days, I swear. I'm just joking, that actually just made us an associate, so we aren't really a part of the mages, and instead the first quest of this guild is to get a recommendation from 7 different mages throughout the world's major cities. I think 18 of the 19 hours I spent on this game, it was actually from this guild quest, I'm not gonna lie. And I've also changed my mind. The Thieves Guild clears the Mage Guild, and this is actually the worst of them all. Why in Oblivion must I suffer? Okay, that was a dumb line, I'm sorry. Anyways, this took me over an hour and a half of grinding to finish, and in comparison, most guild tiers take about 30 minutes to complete at max. So this was about 3 times more than usually needed, which is also why I'm bitching like a sissy lala right now. But once I did do all of those various fetch quests for the most part, I got the trophy. We were then in the mages officially and began to do actual work, and the trophies were much faster now. But like I've said, the mage questline is the worst one, and that's also because the plot for its existence was basically just us learning mage powers and then fighting evil mages. The depth of plot for this game didn't really reach as far as the Thieves Guild one did, and the more I compare it, the more I realize that maybe the Thieves Guild kind of slapped after all. But here's that final mage trophy from the questline once I did get it. So boring I can't be bothered to mention the tiny things we did because the major thing wasn't even major. Anyways, that's 4 or 5 guilds finished, with the final one being the Fighters. And they are also a simple just ask to be a part of guild, so I did. However, they don't accept anyone who has a negative reputation, which can be measured through fame and infamy points, and I was cooked. Yeah, it turns out being the leader of the Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, and Arena Champion would get you quite a few bodies on the record. Not exactly an honest day's work. But there is also a way to reset this, and it's by doing a pilgrimage. But I did read that it took numerous hours to do that, so I instead just went and finished this game's main story to see if that would help raise it at all. And we also do need to do this for the platinum regardless. So I welcome you all to stage 2, the main story. Oblivion's entire story arc is all mostly about the Oblivion's gates, which are essentially portals into Oblivion or Hell, hell, or just where the evil people ponder, plot, and rile up to kill us all. You get the first trophy of the main story as well from just closing the first Oblivion gate. Closing an Oblivion gate, by the way, is actually a ton of fun, and it has you basically just running around the main tower trying to find a way to get higher and higher, because the sigil stone you need to activate at the top is at the top, and once you do activate it, the world kind of crumbles in on itself and all the evil is eradicated, sending the good guys back to reality, and then the trophy pop from that. I then went about 40 minutes more of the main story without getting another trophy, but once I did, it was from activating the dragon shrine, which is a major part of this game's ending. But here's that trophy pop. There was then a kind of annoying shrine quest thing that had us offering to some shrine, which led us to a cave to learn and shit. I didn't really understand what was the point of it all, but this dude with red eyes was a true believer, and I pray for him in the afterlife. I then told all that information we learned to this dude named Martin, who is the main guy we report to this entire story, because he is the son of the emperor, and the evil forces are now after him due to his father being assassinated. I then went again quite some time with no trophies, but ultimately made it to a quest or two, both relating to the defense of Bruma, which is also where the Great Gate of Oblivion is at and about to attack. The Great Gate has a giant world destroyer trying to enter Bruma, and if it does, we are all cooked. Now, you can go to each city and help them with their individual Oblivion gates, which would net you more support in the fight at the Great Gate of Bruma. However, I was trying to speedrun this, so I just started the assault on Bruma right away and the Great Gate. Turns out it's actually super easy with no help, and I managed to do it no problem. Ultimately, it ends like any other Oblivion gate. Just make it to the sigil stone at the top, activate it, and the Great Gate then closed, cutting that big-ass threat in half on the way, saving the day for the moment, and this trophy popped. Now, there is only one more trophy in the main story, and it's from the ending as a matter of fact. In summary, there was another giant assault, but this time it wasn't from a gate and hell just got let loose all around us. So joined by Martin, we made our way up this tower until a big red enemy from Ben 10 spawned in to kill us, and Martin turned into a dragon. If I was high right now playing this game, I would be going crazy because what the fuck just happened? Martin would then go on to win the fight, save the day, and some cutscenes played exiting out the game's main story with the final trophy popping. So that was stage 2 completed. I then checked my rep and it wasn't much better. The Fighters Guild still turned us down again, despite us literally saving the world. Fucking double standards. So what if I killed 400 men? I saved at least 26. And because of this, I did have to make a new game and character. I also named myself, and I quote, "fuck me," which I thought was a good representation of how it feels to start over in this game. No money, no bitches, and most importantly, no motion, baby. But the Fighters Guild, like I said, just lets you join right away, so I did and got that first trophy with my new character. And the Fighters Guild is also the most noble of the guilds and has you actually do missions to help people, which is also why they didn't want a scoundrel criminal like me in the ranks before, and you know what, I get it. And pretty much the entirety of this guild's questline just has you assisting people, and it's for the most part okay. It's not as boring as the mage questline, but it's close to it. However, the last few missions and rank up all surrounded us infiltrating an enemy guild called the Blackwood Company, which is an evil guild and has beef with us since the beginning. They also just kill people and cause harm, so being the noble group we are, they sent me in to infiltrate. I also went on a killing spree with them while on drugs, so it was pretty fun. I see why they're evil now. It's so much more interesting than escorting idiots out of caves like the Fighters Guild does. But it ultimately ends with us just going to their headquarters and just executing them all. 10 out of 10 conclusion. I also did get thrown in jail for a night after that, but I'll take it. I then went back to the final lady and asked for a promotion, which I did get, and the final trophy then popped here with the platinum added on. So that was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered Platinum Trophy experience. Long ass title, goddamn. Anyways, I think the game is good for the most part. I don't have that nostalgia connection like a lot of folk who played this game back in 07 do, so I didn't totally love it or think it's like the best game ever. I also did get a lot of bugs while playing, and I try not to mention those or complain about them because I don't want to just shit on this game the entire time, seeing as a lot of people do love it. But rating it out of 10, I'll give it a solid 7. It would be much higher, but due to me having so many issues while playing, I just can't give it that perfect rating. Also, doing those guild quests were some of the most boring gameplay I've done in a while, and even though it made the platinum easy to do, it wasn't necessarily enjoyable compared to just playing the game for fun. But that's all for today. More coming soon, and Bethesda, please give us map markers when hunting enemies in caves. It's my 13th reason why, and I'm not joking.